Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. It's Friday the 13th. I just realized that. It's October 13th, 2023. Very glad you're with us this morning. Let's see here. Come on, slides. Our agenda this morning, we'll start with success stories. I happen to know of 3 different landings. If you're here in person with us today, there's donuts to share. So for those that are not with us, you're missing out on donuts. Come join us. We'll start with success stories. We'll then have everybody put in their 30-second introductions. And for those here in the room, you'll get to give your 30-second introduction. We'll then hear from the practice interview team, the interview success workshop, the career tip of the week, and then our main event right around the top of the hour. For those people on Zoom, if you have any questions throughout the presentation, please just enter them into the chat window. For those watching on Facebook, thank you for joining us this morning. Please, any questions you've got, please put them into the comment field. We are monitoring that feed and we'll be sure to get those questions answered for you. Please note this event is being recorded and is currently live on Facebook. The recording will be on the Career DFW Facebook page and the Career USA YouTube channel for others to view in the future. By participating in this event, you give consent for your name and picture to appear. Please note that any comments you put in the Zoom chat window will not appear in the recording. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Jeff Morris. Back in 2007, I took over facilitating and leading the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. This group's been around since the late 1990s. We've been meeting right here at Christ United Methodist Church ever since. Like I said, I took over it in 2007 when the prior leader landed a job. In 2008, I started a website called careerdfw.org, a website to help those who are unemployed in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. In 2012, I launched a second website, careerusa.org, to help those around the United States. I have written a book called What I've Learned About Your Job Search You May Not Know. It is available on Amazon for $15, or if you see me in person, I've got them for 10. And since 2017, I've been a member of the practice interview team. You'll hear more about that in just a moment. Well, we like to start the meeting off with good news. So we have donuts in the room. So let me switch cameras around here so you can see. Let's see here, and let me untap this. Here we go, and let me pass the mic to our landing.
Yes. Thank you, Jeff. Good morning, everybody here in the room and online. My name is Alin Hutsano, and my success story, I landed a job in my field. I work in human resources in compensation, to be more specific, and I wanted, a job as a compensation analyst. And I have been in the job market for about 2 months now. I was laid off from my previous company mid-August. So now it's mid-October. So I'm going to start a job on Monday as a senior compensation analyst with the city of Dallas. I wanted, kind of just to share briefly my story here, because it has been a process, and, for, all of us, here in the job market, who are looking for new jobs, we know it's a process. It's not really happening overnight. And I have found myself kind of in this position twice right now, because about 2 or 3 years ago, I was back in the job market as well. And I started to attend, some of the online meetings, here for the Career DFW. And I learned, some tips and tricks, and those helped me to land a job, at the time. And I knew what to do back in August when I found myself back in the market. So one of the things that I kind of forced myself to do based on, and I bought your book, by the way, Jeff, that was actually some good tips, there. I mean, I didn't really apply everything, but some of those are actually, I did apply it. And one of those was, I remember, just to kind of, be more, I guess, creative in my approach, to look for jobs. And I did send like just how do you call, like, cold calls, like, like a message on LinkedIn to a hiring manager from the city of Dallas that I knew, they had a job in my field. And we were not, connected on LinkedIn before. We were just, not friends or anything. So we didn't have any connection. So I just sent it to her. I sent the connection and I said, hey, I know you have a job, in your team. I'm interested. Do you think I can apply? And she was like, yeah, we can give it a try. Why not? And, a couple of weeks after that, I interviewed, and then like last week, she told me that I got a job. So I never done that before. I was not really, I'm not really such like, how can I say, like a very decisive person, or maybe, I'm more following kind of the traditional steps, like, to apply, for the job and to wait for the recruiter to connect with you, and then, to kind of to see, go to the interview, see if it works. And that doesn't necessarily work all the time. I mean, I'm a, very polite person, very like, follow, the rules and everything, but sometimes you have to be creative, like in your approach. And I have done that, and I'm glad I did that. And I'm going to learn the job now in exactly what I want to do, and I'm going to do, things that I did, before, and hopefully it's going to be a successful, career. Now, granted, it's not really, how can I say, my first choice, because I have applied for other, companies, and I wanted, maybe other roles. But irrespective, it's a role that I'm glad, I landed, and I want, to do, this job. So I guess my advice, for all of you, here, just be creative in your approach, okay? Just don't really, whatever playbook you have, that's going to help you to land the job. I mean, follow that, of course, that's maybe what and maybe what might work. But at the same time, think outside the box now sometimes, because I did that and it really worked, for me.
Well, that's great. Thank you very much. I mean, great. So the process took you from the time you sent that first email till now, I mean, till get land.
About 5 weeks, about
About
5
5
weeks in total, yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
That's great. Trying something new. You never know what's going to work. So, don't just, there's no right or wrong way to find that next job.
No. And there are different, I guess, approaches. And I did attend, like some of the practice interviews, here in attendance, just not because, but I also took notes, of course, and I wanted, to see what, if, I were to be asked a question, how I'm going to answer, that.
So just coming and watching is awesome.
Yes, it did help. It did help. And it was something that I was able actually to apply in at least one of the 9 questions I got on the actual interview. So,
Okay.
so yeah, I mean, it's, again, try different approaches, to see what works, for you individually, and then just kind of, make your own success story, whatever, you define it. So I did that for me, and it worked for me.
Right. Well, great. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Thank you for the donut. There we go. Great news. We always like to hear good news. He's heading off. He's got some honeydew list to do before honeydew list. Congratulations. Thank you very much. I'm here to help. All right. All right. So for those who are not here, you're missing out on donuts. For those that are here, we will be eating donuts all day today. All right. Let me change this camera around. I do know of 2 other landings this week. Anna Pernello emailed me saying that she landed. She didn't tell me where or what she's doing. And Mas Fukumoto landed as a chief commercial officer for Prexit. Once again, a company I've never heard of, but you never ever know where you're going to find something. So 36, 37, 38. So Alan makes the 38th landing we've had out of this group this year. So we're looking for you to be number 39. So let us know when you land so we can share your good news. Anybody else out there have any landing information they'd like to share? Anybody else land out there? Nope. All right. Well, we'll move on here. All right. What we love everybody to do now is in the chat window for those that are on Zoom, please put in your 30-second introductions. We want to know your name, comma, phone number, comma, your email address, comma, position you're looking for, what you'd like to do when you grow up, comma, 2 or 3 target companies. Give us some target companies and then hit the return key. And what we will do is I will put all this information into an email that everybody will get this afternoon. And look over that list when you get it. See who you can help. See, is there somebody on that list? Is there a company on that list that maybe you can help with somebody else? So please consider looking it over. I also will use this email list to update our roster so we'll know you're with us, and then you will get a copy of the roster this afternoon. And on that roster, there's 3 tabs. The first tab of everybody who's currently in the last 90 days who've been with us. The second tab are alumni, and those alumni go back to 2007 or 8. I mean, it goes way, way back. So, if you're looking for a contact at a company, reach out to those people because they all sat here. They've been in this meeting before. And then the third tab are those people we've lost contact with. So if everybody will put that information into the chat window, get started here. For those here in the room, we'll give you an opportunity to give your 30-second introductions in just a moment. 30 seconds on the clock. Whoop, sorry about that. Let's try it again. All right, if you're still typing away, please continue to type away, put the information in. Please let us know, because that way we'll update it for using this for a Texas work or for a workforce office visit, of doing something. I'll have a record of it. So please continue putting your information in. All right, what we want to do now is for those people that are here in the room, we're going to give you an opportunity to give your 30-second introduction. And you can follow the script that's on the board here, or you can pick whatever it is you'd like to pick. Let me turn this off over here. And we'll let you see whoever got the mic first. There you go.
Morning, my name is Jim Parker. Happy Friday the 13th. I'm an electrical engineer with great communication skills. I've spent most of my career in technical sales and marketing. In an electronic manufacturing environment, there aren't too many jobs that I haven't either had, directed, or been involved in. This allows me to find common ground with people from any business or technology level, whether it's as a project manager or as a salesperson. Currently looking for a position in technical sales or technical training. My name is Jim Parker.
Hello, my name is Eric Gunther.
It's on.
Okay, my name is Eric Gunther. I'm a PL SQL ETL database developer in Oracle. I provide solutions for people that want data or want to do data analytics. I need contacts. I don't really have 2 or 3 target companies, but I could tell you I'm looking probably at USAA, federal government, state government, along those lines. Again, my name is Eric Gunther. I'm PL SQL developer in Oracle.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nanelle Mobby. I am a personal banker and business banker for financial institutions. I help both individuals and small businesses with all their financial needs. At the same time, through business development, help banks grow their deposit base as well as meet their lending goals. I am looking for jobs in the banking industry. And again, my name is Nanelle Mobby.
Good morning, everyone. Hello. Hi. Okay. Okay. I'm Lisa Crawford. I am a writer with skills in copywriting and technical writing. I provide strategic solutions to achieve communication goals. One of these days, I promise I will have target companies. And my name is Lisa Crawford.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Jema Ball. I'm an operations leader that cultivates operational excellence by building resilient teams and optimizing service delivery and post-sales product implementation. I enjoy creating order out of chaos. I need contacts at Upbound and Neighborly. My name is Jema Ball.
Hello, my name's Mark Knezik, and I am a project manager. I am looking for positions in the IT industry in either a project manager role, release manager, change management role. I am looking for contacts at Cognizant, Tyler Technologies, HCL Technologies, and name is Mark Knezik.
On here, 2 totally free websites, Career DFW, careerusa.org. They're here just Go. All right, now you can hear me. Sorry about that. Career DFW, Career USA. I'm going to back up again real quick here. Two totally free websites that are out there. If you know somebody who's unemployed, please feel free to reach out to and let people know about these websites that are totally free. As I was mentioning to the people here in the room until I turn the mic back on, the Career DFW website just totally got rebuilt in the last week. Please check it out. Check links. I know we found some broken links yesterday, which we fixed. So if you find something that doesn't work on the website, a link that doesn't work, please let me know so we can try to get those things fixed for everybody since the site just came back up brand new. One of the things you'll find on the Career DFW website is a bunch of calendars. And on those calendars, there's a bunch of, each color code is a different thing. Pink are job fairs, gold are special workshops. Blue are those meetings that are meeting in person. Purple are those that are doing webinars and stuff you can watch from online. So check at the calendar. If you find something, a group that's no longer meeting, please let me know so I can update it. Or if you know of a group that's not on the calendar, please let me know so I can add it so we can share that information with everybody. All right, let me talk for a second about the practice interview team. The practice interview team meets, well, we can meet virtually. They can meet whenever you want. It's a totally free service that we offer. The Dallas Pit Crew, also known as the practice interview team, their motto is practice early, practice often. You probably need to practice 3 to 5 times to be really good at what you do when you go into an interview. Remember, your LinkedIn profile, your resume, they are not going to get you a job. What are they going to get you? They're going to get you a phone call. You've got to practice your interviewing skills because when you get that phone call, that's what's going to make or break the next step. They're meeting online via Zoom. So Monday through Friday from 9 to 4:30, they'll schedule interviews. Just send a resume and a job description and your schedule. Right now, my understanding is they're well past, they're booked for the whole next week at this point. But if you want to get on the schedule, don't wait until you have an interview. Just find a resume, find a job description and practice. Just send it to dallaspitcrew@gmail.com. The Dallas Pit Crew is also meeting in person on the 1st and 3rd Wednesdays. So next Wednesday, they will be meeting right here in this building in person. My understanding is they already have 2 interviews scheduled. So you'll be able to watch one of whichever interview you'd like to watch next week. There'll be no online option next week, but you will be able to watch a real practice interview. And like Alan said, just by watching was just as effective. You learn things by just watching somebody else being interviewed. Walt is not with us. He's actually taking a few days off. He headed out of town for a few days, but he just mentioned another service that, another free service here in the community. Walt offers a interview success workshop. It's a 2-hour session. It's on Tuesday mornings. He only does it with 1 or 2 other people at a time, prefers to do with 2 other people. So it's just you, another person, and Walt. And you're going to spend time learning about the interview. This is really pre-doing interview. Ask a question, stop, let's talk about the question. What's the purpose of the question? What Walt really pushes is selling who you are, what you do, and how you can help a company. Remember, when you're going to interview with a company, you're trying to find, you're solving a problem for that company, and that's what Walt wants to push. That QR code that's on the screen will generate an email. Just fill in the blanks, change out Walt's signature, add your own, and you'll be able to send him an email. Or you can reach out to him on LinkedIn. If you go to Walt Glass on LinkedIn, read the About section. It talks all about the interview success, his workshop, and how you can sign up. No poem from Walt because he didn't send me one today. So we're going to move on to the career tip of the week. There's a brand new career tip of the week every Saturday afternoon. Let's see here. Do I see, is Rosanna with us? Yep, there she is. Rosanna is going to read this week's tip of the week for us. So Rosanna, thank you for being with us.
Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. All right. This week's tip of the week. It is dated October the 8th, and it's steps to get found on LinkedIn Recruiter. So we already know that a robust profile on LinkedIn betters your chances of landing, landing your dream job. And the site helps you network, make connections in your field, and research hiring managers, all helping you improve the success of your applications. However, there's another component that LinkedIn has that can help you, and that's getting recruited. So according to JobScan, 94% of recruiters use the professional social network to vet candidates at some stage of the hiring process. Specifically, if recruiters are seeing candidates for a role or seeking candidates for a role, they can use filters and search terms to cast a wide net on the platform to find potentially suitable candidates. So if you want to get recruited on LinkedIn, your profile needs to rank highly in these searches. Ranking highly in a LinkedIn search requires optimized for both LinkedIn tech and human tendencies of recruiters. LinkedIn search algorithms consider a variety of profile sections and user activity to rank their results, while recruiters have their own preferences and tricks to compile lists of top candidates. And this is all explained by James Hugh of JobScan. So what then are the most important profile tweaks you can make to get found on LinkedIn Recruiter? First, you want to turn on the open to new opportunities notification on your profile. While you're looking for a new job, you want to let recruiters know that you're open to possibilities. That means turning on the open to new opportunities network notification on your profile. If you don't switch this on, then recruiters may not know you're looking for alternative offers or making them less likely to connect with you. What's more, LinkedIn promises that recruiters at your current job or current company won't see that you're seeking a career change. Second, you want to add personal branding and keywords to your headline. If you're only going to change one element of your profile, make sure it's in your headline, the most searched part of the LinkedIn platform. Modifying your profile should revolve around adding relevant keywords describing who you are, which is your personal branding, with relevant keywords from your field. These words and phrases are what will help recruiters find you. Some LinkedIn users don't even realize that they can change their 120-character headlines, which default to your current job title and company if you don't change them. Writing for Forbes, career coach Robin Ryan shares this successful example of what a headline could look like. So the example is Emily Sargento, 2021 communication graduate from University of Texas, communication coordinator, marketing coordinator, public relations coordinator, marketing specialist. The vertical line symbols in the profile tells the search engine to keep all the words together. So when you're talking about a career title and expertise, make sure to add those vertical lines, not commas, periods, or slashes. Next, you want to choose industry appropriate job titles, not necessarily the title your company gave you. So another important element on your profile should be your job title. Many LinkedIn users simply write down the job titles previous and current companies that gave them that in the past. But often organizations have internal job titles that don't match the industry jargon. So if you use language to describe your previous roles that recruiters don't know, they won't find you. Instead, search through common job titles in your field and find the ones that match the positions you've held before. Fourth, you want to focus on your accomplishments when describing your past roles, not your responsibilities. After you write your job titles, you want to describe the positions and what they entail. But you don't simply want to say what you did in the past. Rather, you want to focus on the most significant achievements that you've had in each role. Experts recommend adding 2 to 4 of your major accomplishments to each job that you've held. And as a rule of thumb, you want to write down detailed descriptions for your more recent roles and less verbose ones the further you move back in time. Use the CAR method, which is challenge, action, and result, to list your achievements and note your wins as specifically and measurably as possible. Highlight the results that will be important so a recruiter or a hiring manager can take notice. Did you save some time or money? Maybe you made the company money. Did you make a change that saved time and made a process more effective? Perhaps you created something new to mention. These are impressive facts that employers want to know. And so they highlight that you want to make sure you have all those in your resume, in your LinkedIn profile. And then last, you want to add skills to be discovered by recruiters' search parameters. Another important section to consider when you want to get found on LinkedIn Recruiter is the skills section of the profile. Here you want to add keywords that are commonly used in your industry and demonstrate your expertise. Recruiters often include one or more skills in their search parameters to find ideal candidates. Take time to explore the list in the skills section of your LinkedIn profile and include as many skills as you can that capture your capabilities and experiences. So, how to get found on LinkedIn Recruiter? Getting found on LinkedIn Recruiter involves letting others know that you're open to opportunities, adding keywords to your profile, and revising your job history to focus on your successes. Keep your profile up to date is also extremely important. And while these can somehow or somewhat be time-consuming tweaks, updating your LinkedIn profile not only makes you more appealing to recruiters, it also helps you use the social platform for other types of job search tasks like networking, searching for relevant opportunities, and exploring developments in your fields. Well, that is this week's Career Tip of the Week. And again, it's dated October the 8th of 2023. Steps to get found on LinkedIn Recruiter. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody.
Thank you very, very much. All right. Today, come join us for lunch. We're going to go to Jason's Deli, 4801 West Parker Road. It's on the northeast corner of Parker and Preston. Well, I think everybody knows what they have at Jason's. They've got everything. So just come join us. Potatoes, sandwiches, soup, big salad bar. Come join us for lunch today at 11:45. Coming up in just a second, our main event, Susan Carson will be with us to talk about how to win over the holidays, mastering your mindset for success. I want to mention just some upcoming programs the next couple of weeks. Next Friday, Mike Chapman will be with us to talk about your 2024 healthcare and insurance options for all, regardless of age. The what, how, when, and what's new. So Mike is, he's been a friend of the unemployed for years. I've known him for almost probably 20 years now. And he's been giving these presentations on, options that you have as being unemployed, that maybe COBRA is not the best way to go. But he'll tell us all the latest, greatest. And as of October 15th, I guess, he's able to talk about all the latest Medicare stuff for 2024. So he'll be with us next Friday. On the 27th, in 2 weeks, Holly Adams will be with us to talk about how to use ChatGPT to improve your resume and cover letter. It should be an interesting presentation. Should join us for that. So our main event today is with Dr. Susan Carlson. She's been with us yearly for the last several years. I love her presentation because the holidays are upon us. It's sort of hard to believe. You may be going to a Halloween party, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, family events coming up over the next couple months. How you don't want to don't stop looking now, because this is still a great time to look. A lot of people stop looking right now, but keep looking. So Susan, thank you for being with us. I know Susan's having problems with her camera, so it goes on, it goes off, it goes on, it goes off. So we may not be able to see her, but we will be able to hear her. So Susan, thank you for being with us.
You're welcome. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yes.
Perfect. Now keep your fingers crossed. Let's try. Something just happened.
Oh, no, I just, I stopped sharing so we could see everybody. So you can go ahead and still do what you need to do.
What do I do?
At the very bottom of the screen, it says share screen.
I don't have that anymore.
Oh, here, let me go back the way we were. Hold on here. This is the way we practiced it with this being on. Okay, go ahead. Now you can do what you need to do.
Got it. Thank you. Yes, I'm talking to my computer. You know, we get so dependent on technology that when it tries to throw in a monkey wrench, we get in trouble. Okay, today, my goal is to talk to you about really mastering your mindset. So, let's start. All right, first of all, some rules of the game we're going to play. One, what you talk about here stays here. If you have questions, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, or someone else says, just show some respect, which I think is one quality most people have lost today. Please shut off your phone. I swear I have adult ADD and noises distract me and throw me off my game. So let's have some fun and learn some things. So to give you a heads up to see if you want to take a nap now or not, let's talk about what I hope to cover. First of all, what does it mean to win? What does it mean to succeed? Who defines that for you? And whatever the definition is, how can you become a person who wins? All right. And how can we go from being a loser? Oh, I lost that job. I didn't get this. I didn't get that. Into I'm winning in any event. And then what makes the holidays unique? And how can we take those ideas we've covered and apply them to the holidays? So first, let's talk about what do you mean by winning? All right. So some people talk about winning, for example, Alexander the Great, winning to him was capturing more territories. Or Napoleon, his idea of winning was to become emperor. But the real secret of winning is inside. Winning is when you overcome all the garbage that goes between your ears. That's the real definition. And that's what we're going to hone in on. So winning means getting that picture and going, I can get there. I will get there. So here are just a couple of quotes you're all capable of reading, I hope. So you can go ahead and read them. And while you're doing that, I want to share a story with you. It's not a story, it's the truth. A few years ago, a part of my DNA became unrepressed. Something I inherited from my father was a vocal tremor. And I'm a speaker, and you can ask my kids. I love to talk, and I love to speak to people, and I love to share ideas. And all of a sudden, I'm hit with, as you can hear it now, a tremor in my voice. My first thoughts went to certain expletives, to, oh, I'm really a loser. People are going to see me as an old lady, person with Parkinson's, a person who's so nervous, her voice shakes. So why should I bother listening? So I stopped speaking. And by the way, I was an active member of Toastmasters at the time, and I basically shut down. I stopped giving talks. I stopped doing a lot of verbal communication. That's what my mind did. Remember something, the fact was I developed a vocal tremor, period. My mind went to all the stuff, all the negative stuff. It wasn't until, well, we'll get to that in a minute, how I changed that thought. So let's go back to the concept of winning. Why do we want to win? Well, it makes you feel good. And by the way, I'm a scientist, so I will confess, I will throw in the science as we talk about it. You put out the happy hormones, the good stuff that makes you feel good, feel better. Winning gives you more strength. There's a game, and of course it slipped my mind that it's a bunch of pieces stuck together. So when you start pulling out pieces, the whole thing can fall apart. Well, look at it from the other perspective. If you keep building with wins, all right, you get stronger to handle the next issue, the next problem. All right, or as it says in bullet point number 2, you build your confidence. And it all starts with, I had a win. So it tells you, oh, I won. Oh, I can win again. And you keep going. And I want you to think about that. Because in the face of looking for a job, dealing with the holidays when you're going, I'm a restricted budget, I can't spend a gazillion dollars on Halloween decorations or Christmas decorations, your mind starts going into a different direction. And as I commented before, the science geek comes out of me. There's a hormone that many of you may have heard of. It's called dopamine. It's that good feeling hormone. It's the one that makes you feel better, feel good about who you are, what you are. So as I say in the slide as well, how many of you have won? I don't care if it's a game of ping pong or it's an argument convincing your spouse to take out the garbage. All right, they're all the same in the sense of how your body reacts. Your body feels stronger. It feels better. Okay. And as I said before, it keeps building on it. And I want you to keep that concept of it keeps building top of mind. And what do you have to do to start that? Now, on the other hand, referring back to the story I told about, well, it wasn't a story, it's the truth, that when this tremor appeared and it started getting exacerbated, which caused me to worry more about it, which made it worse, it became the cycle of destroying that tower of feeling confident. Okay, plus introducing stress. I'm sure many of you understand what happens in stress to your body. Okay, you shoot out cortisol. Cortisol is the hormone we produce when the body goes, oh my God, we've got to prepare. We've got to set ourselves up for danger, vulnerability, etc. Norepinephrine goes out, your heartbeat goes up, etc. Bottom line, stress. So losing sets your body up to protect itself as the #1 priority. And as I'm sure most of you know this now, the brain, which we're going to talk about, and I'm going to give you a hint, your winning or losing starts between 4 or 5 inches between your ears. Your brain's first priority is to protect you. And I felt like a loser. I felt like I was going to be hit by other people. They weren't going to listen. They were going to make fun of me. Okay. And my brain went, oh my God, stop speaking, which is exactly what I did. So the bottom line is this: winning results in brain changes, good ones, dopamine, etc. Winning gives you the confidence to move forward, to take another risk. It keeps you focused. Oh, I can do this. Well, if I can do this, maybe I can do that, and keeps you going. And it's a pretty smart way to do this. So what did I do? I have a very good friend. She's actually the author of a book that's called It's 6 a.m. and I'm already overwhelmed. And she came to me and she said something to me and I heard it. She said, Susan, they want to hear what you have to say. If they don't want to hear, they're going to ignore you. They'll focus on other things. So something in my brain changed and I started thinking like a winner. Now, let me assure you, it didn't happen the next morning. All right. Changing your mind takes small steps. But what does it mean? What's the ultimate goal that you have? Well, one of the things I always think of as a winner is a person who tries something new and it may not work the first time, and they give themselves time to bitch and moan about it. By the way, with clients, what I say is you can have BMW type bitch, moan, and whine. All right, 10 minutes. All right, it didn't work. Then they move on. The point being, they don't give up. Are there issues? Yes. Do they try to learn from what went on? Yes. Do they always try to leave what some people call the comfort zone? You know, that zone where even though your life may be miserable, you're used to it, you have experience in it. So for me, I've dealt with diet issues my whole life. The comfort zone means, oh, okay, I can eat all these things. I'm going to continue to gain weight, but it's safe. I know it. So what some people call a comfort zone, I've changed the word to my familiar place. Oh, I got a rejection from this interview for a job. Familiar. I'm a loser. I'm not going to try anymore. I'm going to hide under the covers. That's your familiar zone. Well, what do winners do? They feel their feelings, accept them, but then risk taking their feet and moving outside the familiar zone. And they take a risk. So I started to take risks. I gave short talks. I started working with clients again. And the biggest risk I took was I shared. You know, at first I keep it hidden. I have a tremor in my voice. But then I said, wait a minute, let's face the elephant in the room, because everyone in the audience is hearing it. And what's going through their heads is all the possible reasons, et cetera, et cetera. So I face it head on and I throw in some humor, like, My tagline for my coaching work is, we find your success in your DNA. And I add to it, well, sometimes there's some garbage in that DNA. In my case, it was thank you, Dad. I got that from you. So I dealt with it head on. That was the biggest risk. Because for some stupid reason, I thought, let me keep it hidden. But the point being that winners think a little different. And when something doesn't work right and a mistake is made, or you fail, or it doesn't work, instead of bemoaning it indefinitely, what you can do say is, oh, pick an expletive. I'm sure you guys are familiar with several of them. And say, what did I learn from this? I remember applying for a specific job, not getting it. I was in corporate, trying to figure out where I wanted to move next, and saying, oh, well, maybe that wasn't right for me. Or do I want to work for a manager who behaves that way? Just trying to take the mindset, which we'll talk about in a second, and turn it around. So, bottom line, right now, you could be thinking the following things. Susan, what the hell are you talking about? You know, I'm here in Jeff's group, listening to all the programs, the amazing programs, but I still can't get a job. That's all winning means. I need a job, period. Or, Susan, you don't know what the heck you're talking about. Nothing is working. So who do you think you are telling me I don't have to think like a loser when all these pieces of the puzzle seem to be telling me I am? So here's a quote. By the way, if my Toastmasters, and I'm sure some of you are, heard me say so, you'd be writing it down, but that's a different issue. When Venus Williams said this in the best way, and I am going to read it out loud because it says so much in a few words. Believe in yourself when no one else does. That makes you a winner. I could go to the Bible, Christian, Jewish, Muslim, and I'll find something that refers to how your thinking affects who you are and where you're going to. And the answer is, it's all about your mindset. And I said this before, the answer to becoming a winner is between those inches between your ears. But again, some of you are thinking, what the heck are you talking about? My thoughts are real, what I believe is true, etc. What if I told you that that may not be true? You'd look at me and say, Jeff, why did you bring her back? What did she pay you to come and speak? Instead, I want you to open up your mind and be willing to understand, then you can make your judgment about it. So as a scientist and as a smart person, like all of you are, because you listen to Jeff, let's talk about how the mind actually operates. Maybe there's some glitches in the system, or maybe some opportunities that will allow us to make some changes. So at the bottom, and this is very basic, we have thoughts. What are thoughts? Well, thoughts are these sentences or phrases we hear 50 to 60,000 times a day. Thoughts lead to development of feelings. So, for example, interview said we will not do a follow-up. That's a fact. Thought says, oh, shoot, I'm a failure. I'm a loser. Brain puts together a cocktail. We'll talk about those later with regard to holidays, but this kind of cocktail is a chemical cocktail. Remember, I mentioned earlier that our brain, as a result of feeling like a loser, puts out cortisol, puts out norepinephrine. So I'm choosing to call that a chemical cocktail. And you know the result of that when you're in stress. And when you're stressed out, what kind of actions do you take? Well, for me, my goal would be climb under the covers, pull the covers over my head, and pull back, isolate, etc. What if my thoughts, for example, my thoughts about getting this tremor, all right? Yes, I felt bad about it. Yes, my brain threw up, you're a loser, hi, you're a failure, quit doing your verbal communication. However, I introduced a new thought, and I'll explain that further in a moment. I said, wait a minute. If people want to hear what Lauren told me, people need to hear what you're saying, Susan. And I got this inkling of, wait a minute, I'm going to use this experience to move forward. So in light of the negative, I started introducing positive, which means maybe producing some dopamine, some happy juice to keep me moving forward. And I took actions, little baby actions, and I'll mention that in a second, that talks about I'm going to do something that's positive. So I took a small assignment to do a small speech. And that would reinforce the stuff that comes before it. Just to reiterate, we have thoughts that come from our brain. They create feelings. Sometimes you don't know the thoughts. All you have is the feelings. And that's what results in the kinds of actions you choose. So if you think about it, all right, Susan, so a mindset is where my thoughts predominate, what they're telling me to feel like, and what actions I can take. So are you trying to tell me that there's a losing mindset and a winning mindset? So what do you do to deal with it? Okay, so what's a mindset? A mindset is your way to think. Did I think because I didn't get that job, I'm a failure? My opinion is a person who is a tremor is a nervous old lady? Or can I introduce a new way of thinking? Could it be that the way I'm making sense of this world may not be totally true? Is it possible that eating all the donuts that Jeff gets provided for your group may not be the healthiest for me as I'm trying to lose weight? All right. And I'm jealous because I'm not there. I love donuts. Bottom line, your mindset, and listen, I'm using the word, it's your mindset, is telling you how you live your life. Now, I want to go over something for a minute. I want you to challenge what your brain says to you. And in order to do that, I want to explain a little further about what that means. Are thoughts facts? Are beliefs true? Well, I want you to think of, most of you probably aren't old enough or not familiar. There was a famous TV judge called Judge Judy. And she would always say, I just want the facts. Thoughts, on the other hand, are the facts surrounded by a story you're telling yourself. So the fact for me, getting back to my original story, is I developed a tremor, period. That's the fact. I created a story based on beliefs, based on experience. Can I separate those? Well, you may not be able to at first, but you can certainly start observing when that happens. 2, questioning its validity. So it's almost like my brain says, I didn't get that job because you're a failure. And it's loud. It's that habit, that way for your brain to protect you against taking more risks. This is loud and clear. What if you started observing those kinds of thoughts and question them? There's an author I'm going to show you some quotes from called James Clear. He talks about atomic habits, and he talks about changing habits. So the way you think, I didn't get that job, I lost my job, etc. And the stories you have around it can start to change. So my brain is loud and says, you are a failure. Well, if my reasoning brain, not my old brain, can start saying, wait a minute, maybe that's not true. Then you start observing it and questioning it. It will start losing power. And you know as well as I do, I don't care if you listen to the rest of my talk, being a winner is in part claiming your power. Same thing goes for beliefs. I'm a woman, all right? So when I was applying for postdocs, I said, I'm not going to get it. There were 5 in the country I was applying for. I'm not going to get it because I'm a woman. That was a belief I had. And I had to question it. Or there's an old story of a man is in an accident with his son, a car accident. The husband is killed, and the son is rushed to the emergency room, needs emergency surgery. And the surgeon says, I can't operate, it's my son. How can that be? Old belief says, can't be. The man died. The new brain comes in and says, wait a minute, could be his mom. But a few years ago, that may not have come across. So that's a place there. Now, getting to winning and losing, winners can say, oh, shoot, that's going to be a hard one. The gentleman who spoke about landing a job said, I did cold calling. And the way he said it and the words he used around it said, this was a new one for me. Not easy to do at all. So winners aren't stupid. Winners aren't thinking there may be no issues. Losers, on the other hand, say the same thing. Yeah, it could be difficult, but they say it's too much, too difficult. Why try? Why take that risk? Winners always say, oh, there are other possibilities. Maybe there's a chance. So it's looking at things more positively, more open, more possibilities. I'm going to take control as much as I can. Losers sit back and go, oh, so-and-so will take care of it. Or it was that interviewer's fault. They were terrible. They were horrible. I'm going to write a letter to the head of the HR and say how bad they were. So, bottom line, challenge what you're thinking. Do things, for example, how many of you wake up in the morning and go, can't wait for another great day of job searching? No, if you're like me and I'm not searching for a job, I hear the alarm and I go, oh, I'm going to stay under the covers. I don't want to get up. But I've set up a small morning routine. I have certain things I really want to get done. Helps my brain get focused so I can start. I can put things on a calendar. Gives up the brain's concept of hope and says, brain, this is what we're going to do. Now, I'm not saying that putting things on a calendar makes you able to do everything, but it puts the power back in your reasoning, in your logic. Beliefs, same thing. And the last point I said is that practice, it's not going to occur. So today I say, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to do it 100% of the time. It's not going to happen tomorrow. Remember that old belief, that old routine is what I like to call a hamster brain.
Okay, go and get it.
Okay, sorry, got distracted. Someone's mic was open. I told you the ADD comes through. So when I'm saying to you, you have beliefs, you've had them for a long time, you have thoughts that are based on your experiences that have been built into neural networks and cement. They're there. They will probably always be there. What I'm asking you to do is try questioning. It could be a time factor. What was true for me when I was 6 may not be true for me today. The surgeon, my old belief was surgeons are men. Is that true anymore? Can I possibly think there might be other options? Let your brain start in the good part of the brain, the reasoning part, the front part of the brain, which is your decision place, your self-power. Okay, start looking at what your habit brain, you know, the part of your brain that has the habit of keeping you breathing, living, likes habit. Can you imagine if you had to reason through 60,000 thoughts a day? It doesn't work. It wants everything as a habit. But when those habits start interfering, you want to think through them. So James Clear, he wrote the book Atomic Habits. All right? Read through this list. Man of great wisdom, I always recommend this book because it says things like, who do you want to be? So how are you going to act and go backwards? And sometimes the habits no longer work. And every action, I love this line, every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to be. Okay, I just lost my job. What do I do now? What can I do with my mindset? So here are some ideas. One, so your brain is focused on, oh my God, I lost my job. I'm a loser. That whole litany, which I am so familiar with, all right? Listen to some empowering podcasts. There are plenty out there. Schedule them on your calendar. For example, I walk my dog. I think I have a dog to force me to walk. I'll listen to a podcast when I take a walk. Journal. I learned something this week. Now, when I was out of work, I had a lot of worries, from health insurance coverage to what am I to do next, to how do I recover from this? So I was reading from a psychologist, and he talks about set up a worry list, all right? Everything you're worried about, write it down. Then put on your calendar a time to deal with those worries, which we can talk about in a whole other program. But the concept being, oh, I'll put it in this bucket. I'll deal with that bucket at 7 o'clock. Let me deal with the priorities right now. Do gratitudes, all right? I have a partner who can bring in some of the funds. I have a partner who's going to support me, be my cheerleader. Set priorities, make your list, everything you need to do. Grade them. What's a priority that's going to give me the biggest bang for my buck right now? Okay, the young lady who spoke at the beginning, let me relook at my LinkedIn profile. Let me check that off so LinkedIn recruiters will see me. That's a priority. It's also low-hanging fruit. Some of you can handle right away. So let's spend the next 10 minutes talking about specific actions we can take. And remember, this looking for a new job is a job. So on any job, you have projects, you have priorities, you set deadlines, perhaps, etc. Most people, as Jeff pointed out at the beginning, over the holidays, say, oh, shoot, can't do anything. Let me sit back and eat all the donuts. Sorry, Jeff. I'm still jealous. Okay. But seriously, I'll sleep in every day. Nobody's doing anything. Well, something I said to become a winner up here is, let me plan. Now, I'm not saying that you can say what the results will be, but just the act of focusing your brain makes you feel better, more control, which has its results in the actions you take. I'm not saying you can control anyone else or any other outside forces. Like, I want to go skiing, so I'm going to plan. I need my clothes, I need this, I need that. You still can't control if there's going to be snow or not. So, some reminders. Holidays, I'm going to throw in something else. It's about relationships. To get a job, you have to relate with someone else. To get anything done, you're going to have to relate to someone else. All right? To do any of these, you have to be intentional about what you're going to do. I'm going to plan, back to my diet fiascos, I'm going to plan to only have one donut. I'm going to set it in my head to set that intention. So these are some of the things that pertain to becoming that winner mindset. Smiling. Something when I teach communication, I always say smiling, because smiling makes your brain feel better and you do things better. So over the holidays, there are 5 specific areas which you can take advantage of, all with the starting mindset of a loser sits back over the holidays, says, nothing's going to happen. Let me sleep in, put the covers over my head. A winner says, there's got to be possibilities. There have to be options. There have to be places where I can do something. And I've listed them here. So let's dive into at least parties, a little more of a deep dive, and talk about some of the others. But if you can change your attitude, which means your thinking, your question beliefs about one of these, it will percolate through everything else going on in your life. Parties. Well, you know, I look at parties like the internet, right? If you focus your SEO, if you focus your keywords, you make the right connections who might access your emails or anything else. Okay, parties, interconnection, like an email, you're sharing information back and forth. So winners plan. Winners look at it like it's an intention. Parties are great places to make good connections, right? I had a dear friend who was a coach. She honed in on men versus women communication issues. She got her biggest gig by attending a soccer game because she met a woman whose husband worked for a male-dominated engineering firm. If she hadn't chosen to go to that party for the soccer teams, she never would have met this woman who linked her up with her husband. So you can never tell, but her intention was, I'm going to accept because there's a possibility. Now, what else would a winner do? Well, it's not just a party. Can I find out who's going to be there? You can never tell. Can I ask Dr. Google who is X, Y, and Z? Can I link to the hostess? She could say, hey, you know, I know so-and-so. Maybe I'll invite them to the party. It might be a good connection for you. Now, here's where my old-fashioned things come into play, but they have a legitimate effect. Always write thank you notes. Always be polite. You met Mr. X, all right, who might have contacts. You think there's a teeny possibility. Drop him a note. Say, hey, it was great to meet you. Love to meet for a cup of coffee for further discussions. Be open to new possibilities. And you know, churches, schools, there are so many kinds of parties. Halloween parties. You don't know what they are. Go. Be prepared. Bring business cards if necessary. Be willing to listen to others. Be positive. Someone says, so, how you doing? Are you going to say, eyes down, I lost my job? How would you react to someone saying that to you? Versus, you know, I had to share with you, yeah, I lost my job, but I had the greatest interview 3 weeks ago. Oh, really? That makes the conversation continue. You can never tell where it's going to end up. I got the greatest speaking engagement to a graduate school career day because I was kind enough to respond to someone on LinkedIn 2 years before about an issue she was dealing with. I didn't do it to get a speech that paid really nice, but I did it to be kind. And the holiday season is about being kind. Now, health, facts. We've talked about joy. We've talked about the happy hormone, dopamine. That's what you want going on. And by the way, happy people do live longer. There's statistics on that. And I'm going to take a quick sidestep, introduce you to the concept of snow time, which is, it originated, I know this is Texas. We've just survived a horrific summer. But snow time refers to back east when I was growing up. And in the morning, you'd wake up, and your mom would get the call. School is canceled today because of snow. And you go, wait a minute, my backpack is filled, ready, all homework done. I have nothing to do. I can just relax. I can go outside and have a snowball fight or read the new Nancy Drew. I'm showing my age. All right. And again, the scientist speaks and says, when your brain is relaxed, it works better. It's more creative. That judge, what I call, well, I can't say it in public, Jeff will be mad at me. I call it an S.Y committee that says, oh my God, how can you relax? You got all this stuff going on. But if you intentionally set yourself time for relaxing, it lets your brain rest and you can become more creative and it quiets that judge. Connections. As I shared about my friend Julia, all right? Meeting someone in a very open environment, not a key networking meeting. It was at a soccer party. All right, allowed her to make a connection in very relaxed atmosphere that got her a gig. I've gotten jobs that way. It's who you know. And if you meet someone in a relaxed environment, their judge is quieter. It allows them to become creative about what they're thinking. Go, you know, Joe, I know someone who I'm going to do an e-intro for. I think she could help you. Okay? Connections. When you listen to someone, not speak the whole time, it shows you care. And I don't care what anyone says. Logic does not work alone. Emotions have to carry. Your first hit, when you make a decision to buy something, emotions play a role. Then logic comes in to deal with the pros and cons, whatever. And you have a lot of connections, be it an old HR recruiter. You knew people. I sometimes have clients who are looking for jobs set up a frank list, friends, relatives, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. People you may have known 15 years ago or 5 years ago. Drop them a note. Make that reconnection, not I want a job, just checking in how you are. And maybe then introducing, you know, I could really use your advice. People love to give advice, as I'm sure you know. And you can make phone calls or emails or send cards. I remember I worked for a global pharmaceutical company. One of the greatest success programs they had was when they sent birthday cards. Now, they're selling drugs for cardiologists, pretty serious stuff. The most successful outcome came when they sent birthday cards. And to throw out, as I put here, the greatest secret, because looking for a job is marketing. You're marketing you, like your resume. Your resume is your marketing billboard. You want to capture that person's eye as they're driving down the road. You want your resume that when the HR or whomever is looking at the resumes sees something right away before they start passing through, just like seeing a billboard on the highway. You want it to catch. So any of these. Plus, I found some statistics that showed that over the holiday season is when most people take vacations. Okay, and bosses tend to be answering their own phones. Just a slight, it's a possibility. The business cycle, all right? It's the wind down at the end of the year. All right, you've got less competition because there are a lot of job seekers who say, I'm taking time off. Nothing's going to work. Bosses have more creative time and they're thinking budgets, both of the previous year and the following year. So it's a key time in the cycle. Last, and I'm sure knowing what's going on in this world, we're all hoping that this season brings miracles, that the season brings peace. Remember, I talked about gratitude. Well, part of gratitude comes from prayers in action. Yes, this is my personal. I believe prayers are important. But I also believe I have to take actions. For example, my husband's church is doing a winter coat collection. Yes, we pray, but we'll also collect winter coats for those who need it. Pay it forward. Remember, someone is looking for you to make it easier to find you. I put out a challenge for each and every one of you. One, what is some of the beliefs you have or thoughts you have that are not serving you to get the result you want? Two, what are some of the actions you can take and put on your calendar to make you a winner? So I thank you all for letting me speak. Pontificate, as my son calls it. And please feel free to contact me. Just call. Jeff knows I've done it. In fact, during the pandemic, I ran a group just to focus on some of these kinds of questions. So I'm here to serve. I'm here to help. Thank you.
Susan, thank you very, very much. Do you have time for a few questions?
Sure.
Questions? If anybody online, if you have a question, you're welcome to unmute mic, or if you've got a question here, I'll pass the mic around. Questions?
I
No?
put them to sleep, or your donuts did.
Eating the donuts, yes. Yes. Tell us again what the BMW meant, because you went on that really quick.
Oh, sorry. I'm a New Yorker. I tend to speak quick. Okay, BMW's bitch, moan, and whine.
Okay, so you schedule what, like 15 minutes to do that every day? Is that what it is?
Or I get a rejection in the mail, right? Nobody ever calls you to say you screwed up. We don't want you. So you can say, all the thoughts come up of I'm a failure, a loser, I'm not enough. Okay, I'm going to bitch about it for a few minutes. I'm allowed to feel my feeling, but you always know you will move on. Some people need a minute. Some people need more. The point being, You're allowing yourself to feel it. And that word "and" is critical. I can now move on.
Great. All right. Well, Susan, thank you very, very much. Great
Well-
information. Hopefully, you know, I know it's early in the holidays haven't quite hit yet, but I mean, it's coming up here in a couple of weeks. We'll have Halloween and like I said, other opportunities to continue to network through the holidays here. So Susan, thank you very much for your time
You're
today.
welcome.
Happy holidays, and we'll see you next year.
Very good.
All right. Let me share a few more slides here. We'll get out of here. Whoops, let me shrink this down so I can see. Next Friday, our speaker is Mike Chapman. He's a consultant. He likes to say disruptor chief. He works in the healthcare and insurance industry. He's going to talk about your 2024 healthcare and insurance options for everybody, no matter how old. If you're in Medicare, he can talk about that. Or if you're doing a COBRA policy or the ACH plan, whatever you're on, he can help you. If you've got questions, bring those with you. He'll spend a lot of time answering our questions next Friday. If you have not put your 30-second introductions into the chat window, please do so we can know who you are, and I'll update the roster. I'll get the information out to everybody this afternoon. Look it over, see if you know if a name of a company or some way you can help somebody else. That would be appreciated. Career DFW, Career USA, we're putting on training 4 days a week. Please join us next Tuesday. I'll be doing the LinkedIn presentation, 1 o'clock Central Time. LinkedIn, present yourself like a pro. I'm actually going to be presenting at the AMCP. American Managed Care Professionals. I think that's what it's called. It's their national conference. I'll be in Orlando, Florida. So I'll be giving the presentation live to those in attendance, as well as those people, anybody who's online. So come join us next Tuesday. Next Wednesday, the practice interview team will be meeting live and in person. I think they've got 2 interviews scheduled at this point. There'll be no online sessions. So if you do want to come watch, you need to come to the church right here, 3101 Coit Road. It's a corner of Parker and Coit. Park in the north parking lot where you can see the McDonald's across the street, and follow the signs in to get here. So they meet on the 1st and 3rd Wednesdays of the month. Next Thursday is Effective Resumes, the 3rd Thursday of the month. We have a session, every session. We've got a great speaker lined up. Join us next Thursday for that. This session has been recorded. You will be able to go back and watch it on the Career DFW Facebook page or the Career USA YouTube channel. On the Career USA YouTube channel, click playlist. I have over 540 videos up there right now. So the easiest way to do that is click on playlist, because every video goes into one of 7 different playlists. At the very bottom where you see the red circle, view full playlist, pick the one you want. In this case, the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group speakers. Click there, and you'll be able to see a list of all the different speakers, their topics, and their dates. It'll be in chronological order. It'll probably be 4 or 5 o'clock before this presentation gets loaded, or before YouTube processes it and gets it loaded to be able to go back and watch. But you're welcome to recommend it to a friend if you think it'd be helpful. Remember, any of the ones from the North Dallas group, you got to start about 25 to 30 minutes into the video to be able to when the speaker starts. Come join us today at lunch, 11:45, Jason's Deli, 4801 West Parker Road, the northeast corner of Parker and Independence. They've got everything you'd ever probably want, big giant salad bar. Oh, and their ice cream with the chocolate sauce at the end is really, really good too. So don't forget to come join us for that. We've had our donuts and we'll have ice cream at the end here. We're set for the day. All right. So thank you for joining us, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.